Sorry.
Welcome everyone to Littlefish Foundation's community meeting. Today, we had our introductions, we had a little chat. Today we'll be talking about what we as Littlefish Foundation put up for Fund 9 and what we'll be doing beyond Fund 9 within those proposals. So we're going to be walking through each of those proposals, and we're going to be giving you the grand vision of the work that entails Littlefish Foundation for the next 6 months and hopefully beyond that as well. And let me share my screen. Simon, can we enable it, please? There we go. Oops. All right, so Fund 9 and beyond. So in Fund 9, we have a total of 7 plus 1 proposals, these 7 here, and one more that we're collaborating on with Sustainable ADA and Lyricoin. So I want to go through the 7 that we're doing solo, standalone within the Littlefish Foundation. In dApps products and integrations, we have what we call shaping action. This is all about our, this is the flagship proposal that we wrote, the first one. This is the most important one. This is all development work. Then we have 3 in DAOs of Cardano. We went a little overboard on DAOs of Cardano. Most of you know what Ikigai is all about. It's about bringing visibility to the people who work in the community and bringing visibility to the communities themselves. We have tools of decentralized work, like figuring out how to work within the space. I think that is an issue that most of us face within the space, like making that a little easier. And we have redefining earning, which we'll get into at the end of the presentation. Then we have cross-chain collaboration. These 2 were originally just one proposal. Then we just split this up to diversify risk a little bit. One is about going through the ocean of blockchains and learning about all the different technologies that are out there, and the other about what organizations, DAOs, are out there and how they're approaching problems in the space. And finally, we're working with a Turkish legal firm, Tevetol Legal, on this final proposal, the law and the new order, in which we try to understand what the legal implications of what we're building are and legal implications of earning in the space are, which we believe all of these to be common problems that we all face in the space. And this, taking a look at all of these together, we see some development things, we see some research, but overall, the overarching vision of Littlefish, what it is just a complete package of working within this space. Like there are so many different problems, so many streams of problems, so many domains of problems that needs to get solved for us to enable working in this space. And we're building some technologies to enable that. We're also building knowledge to enable that. It's not easy to work in the space just when we're coming from a 9-to-5 perspective. So this entire vision is to enable all of that, to make that a lot easier for everyone else. And today we're going to be discussing how we're going to do that by jumping through each and every one of these. And at any point, please don't hesitate to ask questions. These just make it better. So let's hop in. Oops, there we go. Number 1 is shaping action. Like I said, this is the flagship proposal. This is the first one we wrote. Our entire ecosystem is based on the action. The action is the unit of work within Littlefish. It represents your work. It represents your values. It is fundamental to everything we're doing. But we're building the basic MVP version with our Fund 8 proposal. But we want to go beyond that with this proposal. And with this proposal, what we're doing is not just developing it, but having a holistic approach of experimenting with actions. So, uh, so what first? Let me go through all the different modules of work within this proposal. And modules, by modules, I just mean groups of related work. Each of our proposals have these modules. You can just find, we'll be grouping work by these. So first we have a technical specification. This is all about development. What it is basically defining the metadata of our actions. And this has several steps of it. I'm not going to go into much of the technical details, but give you an overarching view. Next, we have work on minting contract, building transactions and collecting information. And this is also development work that is related to working with the blockchain. And with these, we're working with Gimbal Labs. We're having support from the Gimbal Labs development community to build these out. Next, we have the front end. This is a classical front end, or maybe we'll build it into a true decentralized application. Next, we have experimenting with action and project-based learning module or action. And these are the ones that I really want to emphasize here. Module 4, experimenting with action, is what we've been doing maybe since April, late April, it seems. So we defined this new unit of work, the action. And what we've been doing is making actions, building this, writing the white paper, writing some code, taking meeting notes, doing some research. All the work that I'm mentioning as we're going through these proposals boils down to actions. And what we'll be doing within this proposal is defining that action in code, in NFTs, and seeing what we can do with those NFTs. And that will be a part of this proposal, is actually running experiments with these actions, not just within Littlefish, but within all the communities that we're collaborating with, like C4C, who want to use these actions within their own communities. So we'll be, a part of this proposal will be running those experiments, collecting data on how these are being used, and this information will be used within the development process to influence the development process. And the final module, project-based learning module in action, if you guys are familiar with Gimbal Labs, those guys do PBL modules on token engineering and also Plutus, and one will be on action. So we'll be collaborating with them to create a module on Gimbal Labs on how you can use actions, onboarding people into using Littlefish Foundation and actions. So there'll be work related to that. And keep in mind, like, any of these things interest you, you can just join and help out with these. Like, the model allows that. If you're interested in building that project-based learning module, great, sign up for it. If you're interested in experimenting with action, great, sign up for it. And the coming weeks and months will formalize methods of signing up to these. But if you're just interested, go read the proposal and show interest. And that's usually how it goes at this stage. So that's shaping action. That's the flagship proposal, and we're really confident that it will pass. I just took a look at the reviews. We have 2 obvious flags that's reviewed based on the draft. Once we take those out, it's a 5-5-5 proposal. So we're really confident that this is going very well. So next up, we hop onto DAOs Love Cardano and our popular Ikigai. And for those who don't know, Ikigai is this thing right here. Well, it's a very simplified version of this thing, at least, of Ikigai. It is 4 things: what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. And a different way to put this that I just heard about was what you love, passion, what you're good at, that's competence, what you can be paid for, is economic incentives, and what the world needs is, what was that? Just missing from me, but very good way to put it. I'll find it sometime. So what Ikigai, what we're going to be doing is we have this process of Ikigai where we go through it on our Miro board. If you guys can share the Miro board in chat, that'd be great. So with Ikigai, we have the visibility of each of the individuals working within our community. We share some of our interests, some of what we love, some of what we're good at, some of what we can be paid for, and what the world needs, we think. And this way we learn about each other, and this way we find new things that we can work on. Well, this is a guidance mechanism for us as individuals to find work that really fulfills us, that we love, that we're good at, that we can be paid for, and that we think the world needs. So going into the details, what does that mean? That means module 1, internal use, and that we've already been doing that. On our Miro, you can see many Ikigais have been filled, and in the coming weeks, we'll be doing more of those. We'll be doing more structured workshops based on Ikigai, and Newman wants to be doing like one-on-one Ikigai. So if you guys are interested in one-on-one Ikigai sessions that are a little more personal, get in touch with Newman, who wants to run those. If you want to say something, Newman, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. That's yeah, I'd really love to. It's a fantastic thing that in 30 minutes to an hour we really can make an impact. So yeah, please connect with me. And I love going through it. It's something that I think doing it each periodically, like once a month or once a quarter, would be beneficial.
Right. And we want to keep these up to date, to be honest. Like Ikigai, I think it's a thing that's changing. I did one 2 months ago. I did one a few weeks ago. They're entirely different. And I think that's the way to go in this space, because we're all learning so fast and we're just adapting and changing. So keeping those updated is the way to go. And moving on to module number 2, once we kind of play around with it internally, then we go into educate, share, and collect information mode. And this is where we share this model with other groups. Again, groups like C4C, Sustainable ADA, some other groups like WADA have shown interest in using this. So we'll be getting in touch with them, onboarding them onto the process. So getting this on their own Miro boards and getting them to use it, and then collecting information from that. That's module 2. And again, with you see a pattern here with the previous proposal. It's about using something manually, like experimenting with it, and then letting that influence the design of the software. And that's where we go into module 3. We design the UI UX. We specify technically what we're building, and then we do development, and finally we market this. And again, if you're interested in any of these, just show interest. And that's basically Ikigai and community. And this is in DAOs Love Cardano.
And just a short interruption. So this would be to create a like a software to help people do the Ikigai process, or help DAOs and other community groups incorporate the Ikigai concept. Like,
right. So the end product of all of this work is a software that pretty much represents this. It's a software where you can, as an individual, represent your own interests, what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, what the world needs. But not only that, but also it's software that gives you visibility into other individuals in your community, and a software that gives visibility to the community itself. There are many layers to how we can use Ikigai, and that is on the personal level, on the community level. We want to be able to hit all of those levels. But first, like we need to understand how we can hit those levels with the internal use and educate, share, and collect information modules, and through that really understand how we can best utilize this Ikigai system. And the end result is an open source software.
Can I add a little bit more?
Sure.
And Ikigai will also represent the colony's Ikigai itself. So the people inside the Littlefish inside the colony will form up a higher Ikigai of the colony. So with this one, we will be able to see the missing parts of the colonies, and people will be able to join to that colonies based on the missing parts.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
Do you know the working principle of the transistors? So there are some layers that are rich of electrons, and some layers absence of electrons, and those electrons tend to move to the empty spaces as a universal rule. The missing places are filled. So we want to have the same thing. We want to have the missing places filled by the Littlefish that the others cannot do. So, you know, we are able to develop something, and we are good at it, but we are not good at influencing or cooperating and other stuff. So the Littlefish, those are experienced with the things that we don't have, we're feeling these missing parts. So we plan to use it like that. Yeah.
I didn't realize that metaphor of the transistor. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I suppose it will be a good opportunity for NGOs, existing colonies, to extend their teams throughout this module.
Yeah, NGOs could also attend to the colonies, or they can also create colonies, and they can join their forces worldwide. So why not?
Yep. Great.
Thank you, Chairman.
Of course, thank you, Jim. The skills matching aspect of this, once we build it, it's a very good place to explore. Like Jim said, like there are once you have your colony, just imagine everybody says what we need is marketing, and nobody has that skill. You see that right there. Once you hop into a new community, you see that everybody thinks, okay, these guys need marketing, and I'm a marketer. Great. You can just hop in and say, I'm a marketer. How can I help? And this just speeds up the entire process quite a bit. And once we build that into software, it's just even better. Like immediately, you know, you can have a list of communities that need the skill that you really have. You can just find it immediately. And this ties into a conversation we were having earlier, which Littlefish could serve with Ikigai as a gateway into Catalyst communities. If we have all the Catalyst communities represented as Ikigais, and you just fill in your own Ikigai, we can just match you with existing communities, what you love, what skills you have, and just guide you right there. And grand vision, like grand vision, if we can take Ikigai to that place, that's just amazing. Right. So next up, we go into some of the research-based proposals. So like I said, it's not all about development at Littlefish. Like we see many problems within the decentralized work space, and we're trying to solve as many of them as possible that enable us to work. And once we solve those for ourselves, like we share that information. That's the working principle behind how we're approaching this. And through that, this proposal came about, and this is called the Tools of Decentralized Work, or because idea scale forces me to put in 35 characters, it's Tools of DAOWork. So with this one, we wanted to understand what tools that we all need to be able to use effectively in order to participate and work in the space. And we categorize that in three modules. That's wallets, that's digital work tools, and that's DAO tools. First is wallets. We get paid in ADA. Like, okay, that's great. Do we all know how to keep our keys safe? Do we all know how to which wallet to use in order to best allow us to do the things that we need? Do we have a group of people who keep up to date with these wallets and give us the information we need so that we can feel safe using these wallets? And this is the key thing with this module. We have a group of guys that were at the Tech Help Collective who are very experienced in learning about new technologies and then communicating that to non-technical people. And the key problem with modules here is that these are being developed very fast. Like everything is just changing beneath our feet. So if you took a look at which wallets were awesome and you decided to choose one 5 months ago, great. That information is now outdated. It's just useless. Your wallet might have had a massive bug and you wouldn't know anything about it. You might just lose all your money. It might happen. The risk that it might happen is it's non-zero and it's non-negligible. So what we need is we need a group of people to tell us to keep track of those problems, and that's what this module is about. Next, we step into digital work tools. Here, some of the pain points that I think.
1 second on the wallets. I wanna.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, it's not just every one of us, but all the people that will join in the future as well, right? Because I'm thinking of like my mom is retiring, and I was telling her about this group, and like maybe she's interested in also contributing in her expertise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when she has some time still, and yeah, so she probably doesn't know how to secure her wallet once there's money on there that might represent the monthly salary or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like non-technical people who are away from the crypto community, it's just very scary. It is. We understand that. So we got to make it as easy as possible. Stepping next into module 2, we have digital work tools, and some of the pain points here. Let's mention Discord. Let's have a little vote. Who loves Discord here? Yeah, no one. No one loves Discord. It sucks. So how do we make it not suck? Is the question behind digital work tools. And it's not only Discord, it's scheduling. It's how do we use Miro effectively? Have the other tools that we can use to run meetings, to do X, to do Y. So lots of work there. Like remote work, we feel we know remote work because we've been doing it, but since COVID began 2 years, like we don't know remote work. Like nobody taught it to us. We just encounter tools and then we adopt them if they feel easy. But if we have a group of people who are working on it, who are actually discovering these tools and allowing us to adopt them, helping us adopt these tools, like we'll just become a much more effective organization. And if we do that as a community beyond Littlefish, as in Catalyst, that's just a very, very effective blockchain. So that's what digital work tools is about. Now going on to module number 3, we get into some actual blockchain stuff beyond wallets. So DAO tools. What state do you think DAO tools are at on Cardano? That's the main question behind module 3. There are a few available. There are a few available tools developed by groups like DAO, Liquid Labs. So we're going to test them. We're going to see them, try them out, and see if there is a use case for them in Littlefish and see if there's a use case for them in other groups. Like make them as known as possible, try them out. And again, like the wallets, keep up to date with them because they're being developed rapidly. And this is active work, research work, trying these tools out, seeing where they're at, and see if they can be used for a use case within Littlefish. So we can turn this organization into a true DAO, like existing on the blockchain. And finally, we have the marketing Littlefish Vault module. Again, this is a shared module with the other research proposals. It's basically taking all this information and making it as widely known as possible. So it has a component in classical digital marketing, Twitter, but it also mostly has the component of like sharing this information within Catalyst, like getting people to know about what we're doing and getting people to use the information, because all this information is mostly useless if we don't get anyone to actually get it to use it. We will use them, but that's not enough. That doesn't justify the big number that we're putting on it. So that's tools of decentralized work in DAOs Love Cardano. All right. Next, we have these two twin proposals, as I call them. These originally were one proposal. Then we just split them up into two because it's just easier to get lower budget proposals through. And that kind of worked because these are really highly rated in cross-chain collaboration. So that's great. So these two kind of do very similar things. It's what the problem here is very similar to the one with tools of DAO, tools of decentralized work. There is a huge blockchain space, and there are many different organizations trying to solve the same problems that we're trying to solve. Like they're trying to solve specific blockchain related problems, like collaboration, coordination. Sure. They're also trying to solve like how do we organize in the space, that type of problems. So at the left side, we have Ocean Technologies. Those solve the technology related issues. So they go into all the different blockchains, all the different communities on the blockchain. So they go into AVAX, they go into Solana, they look at all the different technologies that are out there, all the different approaches, and try to bring that back, bring that knowledge back into the Littlefish Vault, which is, I haven't mentioned it till now, just realized that the Littlefish Vault is the knowledge base that we have on Obsidian. If you guys can also drop a link to that, that'd be amazing. So all of this information is going there. We're building it there. So going into the modules with Ocean Tech. First, we have Oceanfaring Technology. It's basically looking at the technologies that enable cross-chain work on Cardano. So if there is, so Milkomeda comes to mind, Milkomeda and similar technologies. So this module would involve like taking that technology out for a spin, using it, researching it, looking at what it can do, and bringing that information back to us. And module 2 is technologies of the ocean. And here we do the same, but with other blockchains. So we go into the ocean of blockchains, go into AVAX, go into Solana, go into other blockchains and see what technology they're building and bring that information back to us. And that's Ocean Technologies. Again, with marketing the Littlefish Vault, same module. And next up, we have organizations of the ocean. It's very similar, but this kind of has an internal spin to it as well. First, we have module 1, organizations of the ocean. This looks into all the different DAOs that exist on all these different blockchains and looks at the organizational models and what they're doing there. It looks not just at the technology that's enabling that, but what philosophies are they building on and what methods are they using to organize. And this looks into even processes like how to run meetings, how to work together. So those types of things. That would be module 1, organizations of the ocean. And so ocean conservation. Yeah. These have nothing to do with the actual ocean and their conservation. Maybe should have mentioned that. Ocean in Littlefish is basically the entire blockchain and their communities, where all the fish swim, we say. Going into module 2 is where we do internal research. So we believe we have a brand new way of approaching these problems, and we want to like understand these as well as possible. And that requires some solid research on our part. And this includes what we do with actions. Remember the shaping action proposal. So analyzing that and seeing how we're using actions to organize, how to coordinate, and also looking at the teal organization principles and how we really reflect that within the Littlefish Foundation organization. So for those unfamiliar with it, teal organizations are a new model of organizations where self-management is key, dynamic hierarchies exist rather than the pyramid hierarchies that exist in classical organizations, where there are boss subordinate relationships. These don't exist here. Instead, we have a teal organization model where we try to organize around self-managing teams. And as you see with all of these proposals, you can see at the top the team that is behind these. The Tech Help Collective, that's a self-managing team. Organization Labs, that's a self-managing team. At least in concept they are. We hope they will be turning into self-managing teams as these proposals come alive. And what we'll be doing with Module 2, internal research, is understanding, okay, are they actually self-managing teams? Are they actually working on these teal organization principles like self-management? And we'll be contacting and working with a group of researchers from Poland, I think, who do teal organization research based on organizations. So we'll contact those guys to come and work with us to see if we do actually fit the bill and where we can improve. And finally, we again have been marketing the Littlefish Vault. Just to iterate, it's all about sharing all of this information that we create with the broader Catalyst community, making sure it's used, making sure this knowledge that we create is actually useful. Right. And at this point, if you guys have any questions, please, that would be great to have me a breather.
I'm curious, do we have anything about governance in the proposals?
We don't have anything about governance in the proposals because we found it's difficult to define even what governance is. But what I believe this to be, the internal research, will really be based on governance as we discover what that truly means. So one thing that I'll be sharing later on today is actually maybe the first attempt at governance, but we'll come there in a bit. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is going to be a short one. That's good. Legal and financial implementations challenge. We've been in contact with a great group of attorneys at Tevatolu Legal. This is a Turkish legal company. What they're going to be doing is answering all our questions related to the legalities of working in the space and the legalities of the product that we're building. So if you go into this proposal, you'll see lots of different areas that are being covered, not just related to Littlefish, but like IPOs, ICOs, that type of things as well. They will be covering a lot of this, and they'll be doing educational workshops as part of Littlefish. We said, I think, one workshop per month for 6 months, starting in September or October, if I recall correctly. And during these, we'll be able to learn a lot more about the legal standing of all of this, and do we actually need to pay taxes, like that type of questions. Like, and if we do, like, where do we go for that information? These guys know a lot about this. They track all this information globally, but of course, like they don't know all jurisdictions. So this will be, hopefully, we'll get some information based on our home country, Turkey, but Europe and the US hopefully as well. But we'll see. Yeah, and that's legal and financial implementations in law and in new order. Please drop down into the proposal to check out what those research topics are, because it's very extensive once you get down there. I think they cover 13 different topics. And finally, this is the big one. This is redefining earning, and this has always been a long shot proposal that we hoped we would get, because if we get this, like this is 1 year long funding. This is 1 year long proposal. It's all about, like, we have this idea of defining this reward sharing mechanism. We want to build it out, but we want to build it out right. So if you guys have been with us since January, when we had talks about token engineering, we were thinking always that token engineering was really difficult. Doing it properly is really hard, and we got to really focus on it, learn it really well, and do it in a proper manner. And if you don't do it that way, we all know what happens. We've seen the examples in the past 2 months. Complete collapse, like Luna, or just terrible outcomes like many other examples I think most of us can come up with. But so what we want to do is just build out a reward sharing system in as proper manner as possible. And this proposal is all about that. And the key thing here is realizing that we don't truly have all the skills, but we're willing to learn it, and we're willing to learn it together. And as a part of this, what we'll be doing is part of module 1, token engineering learning cohort. So there is this group called the token engineering community. What they do is create this awesome content on what is token engineering, teaching this to people. This is a cross-disciplinary field, token engineering. It requires a lot of different set of backgrounds to really get a grasp of. So some of the parts that make this up, to sum it up, is economics. That's good. There's some psychology. There's game theory. There's computer science. There's optimization theory, AI. There's ethics, because every decision you make is actually like guiding and coordinating humans. You're designing an economy. So this is all very difficult for a person with simple one background to handle. So a developer going into this will just be, wow, like have no idea what they're doing. A economist going into this will maybe get the abstract concepts, but like how are they going to put it into code? Like it's not going to happen. A psychologist going into this will probably just scratch their head, but if we get all of those people together, learn together, we can actually build a great system. And that's the idea behind this proposal, is to build a great core of individuals to go into this learning cohort, get this course by the token engineering community and learn together, and then create a team that works on the token engineering for Littlefish, building the reward sharing system, and also thinking about and building the token for Littlefish in a longer term. And that's a year-long proposal, long shot, but even if you don't get this one, we'll still be doing the token engineering learning cohort. So if you guys are interested, again, just let it be known, and we'll just be taking that module together, learning token engineering. And that's it. That's all the proposals for Littlefish, except the collaboration with Sustainable ADA and Littlecoin. So, all right. Thank you, guys. Let's see.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I appreciate going through each one and getting a little bit of the vision. Kind of forms up the context and to see how they all stick together. This idea of a research and a development sort of arm, and then all of the different, how they all fit with the different groups. I think that really helps us.
Mark had a question in chat. He says, can you talk about how someone can get involved and acclimated with Littlefish? What are the first steps? Okay, so right now, the way to go about this is just showing interest on Discord, joining these meetings, and just telling us about yourself on Discord. Like there's a group called, there's a channel called Introduce Yourself. Just go in there, introduce yourself, let us know what you're interested in. Like all these proposals that I talked about, you can find them all on our knowledge base. Instead of idea scale, go to our knowledge base to go through all these. And as you explore these proposals, you'll also explore the Littlefish ecosystem. We have everything that we're talking about is available on the Littlefish Vault. So it is a good rabbit hole to fall down into. And once you like get through there, once you swim through there, you'll find out a lot about it, and you'll come up with ideas in terms of like, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can help here. So the idea here is to build a self-managing community, and what we really want is to have individuals understand by themselves and find problems that need solving, and then try to solve those. And that's the type of model that we're trying to build. And there are some visibility issues that we're still working on, and you'll run into those visibility issues yourself, just like this. Then if you solve some of those, that's great. You'll get paid for that if you solve some of those. And let me also mention this. This is very important. It's very critical. Once you do some work related to Littlefish, what you do is you go to the Littlefish Discord, the action channel, and you post it there. So let's assume you just did some of the research, the wallet research that I mentioned. You put that document on our GitHub, and then you post it, post the link of that and any description that you feel appropriate into our Discord at Action. And here, now it's available to everyone what you did, and you will get paid based on that. And that is the basic model that we have. Hope that answers your question. But please, if you have any more questions like that, it's time to dive into the ocean. Exactly.
Yeah. Also, you can feel your Ikigai in our middle board called Action.
Right. Contact Newman to get your Ikigai done, to learn a lot more about Littlefish and how you can, where you can help out.
Yep, I would love to hear from you. That would be cool.
All right.
Chakan, thank you very much for your explanation on the proposals. Also, can you do some information about the data studio analysis of Fund 9 so we can show everyone our work?
Right. Let me open this up.
Yeah, I was going to ask about this also. Jem in the chat asked for help in case you would like to help with the analysis, how we can help with that. I mean, I'm a veteran proposal assessor, so I will try to identify some of the low points. And other than if I can do something, I'm here.
Yeah, I just give you edit access.
Okay, so with the reviews, we had a few bot issues with the reviews. But we're hoping that will be resolved by VPAs, no issues. Beyond that, we have most of our proposals are doing very well. From what I've seen, I feel very comfortable, like 100% that 4 of them will pass. But of course, like that's how I feel. The voters may not feel the same. So let's have a look at them. This is going to be much better to explain that way. There we go. There we go. All right, so this is how it looks before the bots are removed and the flags are done. So like I said, Ocean Tech, that's doing very well. And I think there are a few flags in there that will bring these up even higher. And this is maybe like first and third, if I recall correctly, in cross-chain. So that's good. This one has obvious flags. They just didn't read the final version of the proposal, and that's where all the deductions are coming from. So this is going to be a 555. So hopefully that's going to pass. This is very up high in its own challenge. So hopefully that will pass. Let's see if we can see how high up high it is. It is quite slow. Yeah, that didn't work. Let's see. There we go. So this legal financial is third. So this is kind of asking quite a bit of the challenge. So it is quite risky, but third, I think we can get it. Let's reset back. The big one is this one. So we have 3 proposals in this one. Here.
Hakan, we don't see your.
Yeah, your screen is probably frozen.
Is it? What are you saying? Let's
the first page.
Okay, I'm going to share again. Okay, so I'm just going to recap what I just said. Is with the legal financial one, we're the third one in the challenge. So hopefully that will pass. The cross-chain ones will definitely go through. Shaping action will be 555, so that will hopefully go through. And where the questions arise is with DAOs low Cardano. So before we touch redefining earning, we can go through these two. These two are rated low because they have like half of their reviews are bots, basically. So we're gonna get those removed. And once we get those removed, I'm not quite sure where they'll end up, but what I've seen is they're ending up around 4.85, 4.9 range. So those I believe are very high as well, that the high likelihood that they'll pass as well. So the only one that is a question, at least in my mind, is this one, redefining earning. But like I said, it's always been a long shot. It's okay that it doesn't pass. Like everything else is critical. This is more of a long shot that we can always go again for if we feel the need to. And we want to do even more analysis here. We had the budgets and everything, and we want to share this once we have those analysis done. So if you want to help us out with the analysis here, get in touch with Jem and work on these. And if you have any questions, I'd like to answer as well.
Yeah, this is great. This is the first time I'm seeing this tool, and that doesn't happen every day. That's and Jim, this is what you did.
Yeah, I also realized that there's a tool like that 2 days ago. That I got deep inside it, and it's wonderful. You can see everything here.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So if you want to learn this tool, this is a multiplier. So we did tools of DAOWork. You can learn this tool and share this information. That's tools of DAOWork. But then once we do Ocean Organizations internal research, we'll use this tool to value our actions. Then you can have that get paid for the same job twice, basically.
Yeah.
So learning this tool really well is a very good way to make money in the Littlefish Foundation. Just to give you guys ideas about what type of work we have.
Yeah. Well, the value of it, yeah, it just seems like in these new Web3 DAO communities, this type of, doing this type of governance, but any of the data, like big amounts of data, this is the thing. Yeah. This is wonderful. This is really great.
Also free.
And free. Okay, Google. Yeah. Way to go, Google.
Thank you, Google. that will topple in a few years.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But very gently, because we love Google. Very gently topple.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, very gently.
just
Just shift them.
shift it a little. Just shift it a little, because we
Right,
love
so-
Google. Google's great.
Right, and the final thing, just with 4 minutes remaining. Wow, great timing by me. Great job. Just gonna pat myself on the back with this one. So first draft of this is so we've been making some payments with the Fund 8 funding that we got, and I just wanted to write a document to not formalize but give some reasoning behind like how we make the payment decisions, and this is it. I'll share it in the chat. I'd love for you to go into this, read it, give suggestions, any ideas on how we can improve it, clarifications, anything. So this was the governance topic that I mentioned earlier, Simon. So this is probably the first governance thing that we're doing, and it's all the way we do it is just experiment socially, manually first, and maybe someday we'll just turn this into a smart contract. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Peter.
well done. Well
It was
done
great.
on everything. Just one thing again, it's not yet to celebrate, so need to do the flagging and need to make sure and then think about the promotion part, right? So still need to get it done. I mean, there's end of flagging and then the 2 weeks, then basically 2 weeks of VPA where you need to think of promotion, how you get to the right people, where can you present it, and then after that, you have 1 month actually to do that, and then so yeah, because there's a lot of high rated, and I know that I'm always being the alarming person, but there's a lot of high rated proposals, so very good ones. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely some of them can, even though they're high rated, might not pass. It can happen.
I had one time proposal that was number 1 in the challenge, in the miscellaneous challenge, number 1 rated, and it didn't pass.
Right.
Yeah.
There is a possibility that some of them might not pass. If most of them don't pass, I'll be very surprised. Like that'd be just super bad luck. But
sure.
it's okay if 1 or 2 doesn't pass. If redefining earning doesn't pass, that's okay. That was a long shot. If 1 or 2 of the other ones don't pass, that's still okay. We actually accounted for this risk. We have what we call action fund. We have extra money in each of these proposals for the work. So we have like the work itself, maybe it costs $200,000. The money we asked is a little bit more than that. So we have a little bit more money that we need.
And this is great, and hopefully some of them will pass. I'm just saying, let's now think about the promotion, right? And one way, by the way, to do a promotion, I mean, we are all little fishes, right? And we gather together in Cardano for Climate 200 impact-driven proposal. If each one of us goes to the list and vote for the proposal we believe in from the list, including Littlefish, obviously. So then, I mean, all us little fishes can make an impact. So what I'm saying is now it's time to move into the vote impact on voting.
So if you guys want to help us out with marketing these, I would love that. We're going to be doing the Idea Fest, and hopefully we're going to be doing the Emergo presentation as well. But any other ways to promote this? We're open to suggestions. If you guys
just
want
to tell you now, yeah,
that's great. That's an action.
So one thing we are doing, which will be interesting, we are doing 1 second. One thing we are doing is we are talking with Lead Donation and with AIM to include the impact list in the search in the voter tool. Okay, and so that will be great. So people can search by impact, and then and that's going to be available for all the voters. But also in the AIM platform, you can actually create a pick list and share it with voters. So that's also an interesting way, because you can create your pick list and make it easy for voters to vote for a certain type of pick list. And that can be good if you, I don't know, if you build together a pick list of 20, 30, 40 proposals together and kind of promote it together. Obviously, I mean, we're trying to promote only 200 impact proposals. Yeah, and I don't know if Cardano for Climate will have a pick list, but yeah, yeah, just trying to move now the mindset for that. That's it.
So what other meetings that we can promote this in? How can we do it?
So
Ideas,
the pick list is
Idea
one,
Fest?
right?
Pick list.
Yeah, ID Fest, make a pick list and then share it with the social networks. I think if we can get to some YouTubers, maybe, or that could be one. I actually have a list of YouTubers that I prepared for something, so I can share it with you. YouTuber and yeah, and share it with all of you. So YouTubers and Twitter, yeah, and reach out maybe to some of them that you feel confident with. Research about them before. See who can be aligned. Again, I'm just sharing ideas. I don't know what's better, but I'm just sharing some ideas.
I'm trying to think of other functional groups within Catalyst. I mean, so Swarm is Idea Fest. You know, we've got C4C has their Impact Fest. So, and then Emergo, which is really developer like. I'm trying to think, are there researcher groups inside of Catalyst, like other groups? Like the organizational and legal groups. Like, I don't know if those communities have really been formed. Yeah, but the proposal spotlights are good. And then maybe chopping up the video that just explains, you know, and just getting you know, on the different social media challenges. So like on Twitter, you know, holding Twitter spaces, you know, that would be an action. Yeah.
You can join the Twitter space of CNC. That's a good one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And they have quite an active Twitter space. Or sometimes join the Twitter space of Danny that is doing, and that may be less attracting voters, but yeah.
Where do we follow up on those? On your Discord announcements?
CNC, no, CNC is Christian. You can contact Christian directly or CNC channel. I think you're there, or we can help you with that. Ebb is now part of it also. But
Right.
CNC, then WADA, I mean, you can present it in different town halls. WADA can be always interesting to speak with Mercy.
Yeah, the town halls. So that's a good one. I mean, they've got to be. I mean, it seems like it's a really popular thing now to do the proposal spotlights. But we can, as Littlefish, can, you know, do, you know, marketing packages. For instance, those little posters are wonderful. I mean, just such like a great sort of innovation thing. And was it this group or was it another group? Oh, they all run together in maybe a moment. But it's like doing TikTok. Like wanting to like get onto TikTok, the different all the different social medias like Reddit and Instagram. But those, you know, is there a big Catalyst voter presence on those other social medias? I don't know. That would be the sort of they need to be you know, people that are interested in, you know, organizational development, like a Teal organization or the DApp, you know, developer group, and involved with Cardano and in Catalyst. So it's the segmentation type of thing.
I mean, I'm sure there are groups, but the problem is we don't know how to reach them. Like there are groups on Facebook, there are groups on Twitter, there are groups on TikTok, but reaching them is something that we have to figure out.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing now is that we've got something to share with them. I mean, that makes it a little bit easier, and it's just like, here's this graphic, you can sort of see it, and then so like half of the battle is done.
Cardano Foundation can be another one, right?
Yep. Yep.
To reach out.
So how about we do something like this? I'll start a marketing proposal channel on Discord, and we'll drop some ideas over the next few days. And by the end of the month, let's have a meeting with whoever wants to join. Let's create a marketing strategy for this fund, and then go out and do it.
Yep. Yep.
How's that
Yep.
sound?
I also pasted the video that we have, so we can also distribute it.
Yes. Yes. And then making the
Great.
pick list, so making the friction for the voter easier. So like here are the, you know, on the lead donation and the AIM tool. So like
Yeah,
getting
we can put the list, pick list to the video also.
Yep. Yep.
Good. No, incredible job. Incredible. Just, yeah. Let's celebrate in the end.
Yeah, we will. We will one day. One day we're gonna celebrate together. You know,
Yeah.
someone
It
near
will,
Izmir.
it will be wonderful.
I vote for that.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Let's end the recording and the meeting here. And if you guys want to stay and chat, that's great. Let's